What's up, everybody? I'm back with another Endymiontv video. This one about Overwatch. Uh, yeah, definitely follow his channel. I react to one of his videos before. So I'm back again with another video. So before I continue, please do me a huge favor and leave a like, comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Follow me on my YouTube and Twitch channel as I stream games, react to content, and review content as well. So yeah, I haven't played. I think like I quit Overwatch wholesale as soon as Marvel Rivals came out. It was like so much better, and Blizzard took Overwatch completely off the rails. And when they when they recently tried to see the success of Marvel Rivals and tried to emulate that, like bringing in hot women, you get like VO actresses, complaining and pretty much putting them on blast on social media, bullying them to change it to uglify the characters for the body positivity crowd. It's so annoying. And that's why Blizzard is just like, and Overwatch specifically, is being ran into the ground because nobody want to sack up and fire anybody who crosses them, because it's like that VO lady who was a YouTuber and then got hired to act as this new character, but then not realizing her position, she is a new hire, but then tries to bully people who created the character that they're hiring her to voice the character. They have more pull to tell her, like, hey, we got plenty of other people who wanted to voice this character who will gladly take your place. If you don't like it, you can kick rocks. And that's what they should have done. I'm pretty sure they gave that girl a good talking to, but not to look bad, but they somehow still kept her on. They should have stuck to their guns, but that's neither here nor there. I'm pretty sure he's going to talk about something else entirely. But anyway, like I said, like the video, follow EndymiontV's channel. He always make great content. Like to give a nice shout out to people I react to. Anyway, let's see what he has to say about Overwatch. Just open a door that they can't close. Yeah, these are the new characters, and this is the character, the voice actress. I don't even remember her freaking name, but you can look it up. That pretty much trying to put Blizzard on blast. It's like, look how cute this character is, but I'm pretty sure there'll probably be an update, and she'll be like masculine in some kind of way, completely unappealing. And probably gonna be queer coded, and I'm pretty sure initially she'd probably be straight.
Overwatch is already bringing in new life to its player base with a huge update that is going to be live as this video being made. I'm happy that Overwatch fans finally have something to be proud of after so long with Blizzard ruining that game with nonsense for years. It really does feel like a second rebirth for Overwatch at this point, and I'm genuinely happy to see it happen. That being said, amongst the revival, there's unfortunately some other things that we gotta talk about too, like that dirty word that plagues video games, you know the one, activism. God, I hate activism. Well, let's go over the good before we get to the annoying. As seen here, prior to the launch of this new era, Overwatch was bringing in healthy numbers, with many players returning even before the big update, which is great to see. Again, the world is not a better place if Overwatch were to die overnight. We do need a healthy Overwatch to compete with Marvel Rivals. It's the only way that both games keep getting better as time goes on. I hope Overwatch's revival goes so well for them that it causes Marvel Rivals to now ascend to like Super Saiyan 2 levels of effort over what they've done previously in the past, because I want to see both of these games and others like them be pushed to really stretch their creative muscles. Because again, we all win if these games do their best in the end. I don't see it as a competition as a fan of both games either. Oh no, both games I like are making better content because the other one exists. The agony, except not really, that is awesome. As Games.gg reported here, yeah, Overwatch player counts are surging across the board. We really are about to witness the second, or I guess third coming of this franchise into a new light. This rebrand has also been so successful, as Windows Central even says here, Overwatch has also surpassed both Battlefield and Call of Duty Duty on Steam as well, which again, that is great to see. Because if Overwatch is able to come back and do this, and I have no doubt the numbers will surge now that the big update is out too, this will likely cause Call of Duty and Battlefield to reassess their plans as well. Because again, all of these games share player bases whether we want to admit it or not. The more healthy games means the more healthy competition. It's just a big win across the board. This now unfortunately brings me to the kind of negative part of this video, but it has to be discussed, which is activism in video games. If you've seen my channel before, you know that I hate activism in many forms. Usually because that activism comes from people who are in privileged positions acting like they're some downtrodden underdog, when in reality they're about as blessed in position to be the most beneficial of us all most of the time. It's kind of like Hassan Piker. These sorts of people who act like, oh, woe is me, but in reality they grew up with a silver or even golden spoon in their mouths. Yeah, you know the types, I'm sure. The kind of people who think that everyone should be given $1 billion because why not, despite never working a day in their lives. Yeah, it's kind of annoying, I agree. These sorts of people don't understand how the world or even reality works. Anyways, this brings me to Faria. Maybe I said that wrong, I don't know. But anyways, this is their Twitter handle here. Do not harass this person or send them any mean messages either, by the way. Let's be adults about this and discuss things calmly, thank you. Anyways, this Faria person is the voice actor of Onron in Overwatch. Onron is the fire-wielding hero with the fans that can summon Phoenix-like powers. She's one of the 5 heroes that's coming with this massive update to Overwatch right now. Anyways, in case you don't know, a lot of people have opinions on Onron's face design and overall body proportions as well. Because Onron is, well, I'll just say it how it is, okay? She's depicted as a healthy, slim East Asian woman, and people don't like that. Which, if you like making money and having a healthy player base, yeah, that's definitely the way you want to go. But anyways, Onron is apparently not agenda-pushing enough, as IXBT.Games reported here. Overwatch actress unhappy that her character isn't agenda-pushing enough. Faria, the voice actor claiming that this Onron character we ended up with is too Ozempic-pushing because apparently being skinny and fit is a bad thing. Which is absolutely insane to me considering that Overwatch as a series is meant to display the most capable operators on the planet. A good reminder is what originally made Overwatch so successful. You had characters like Tracer, Widowmaker, Mercy, Genji. They weren't realistic per se, but they were designed to be iconic, and that's the key here. And what went wrong with a lot of this originally that ruined Overwatch was, over time, Blizzard's priorities shifted. Instead of asking, does this design excite players? The question then became, does this design avoid criticism from the activists and the journalists, and most importantly, internal DEI teams? It was a notable shift, obviously. Design started to optimize for approval and not really appeal, and once that starts to happen, the visual identity suffers, which yes, it absolutely does. We know this isn't accidental, right? Developers have openly admitted in interviews and talks that they avoid making characters too attractive to prevent online backlash. But the result always ends up being characters that feel unmemorable, unmarketable, and disconnected from the fantasy of why people play these games in the first place. The best way that I can put this is that game character designs, or just designs in general, they need to stop designing at us and start designing for us. By definition, none of the heroes or villains in Overwatch should be comically overweight or gross or ugly. I think a good way of looking at it is sort of like the Olympics. As of this video going live anyways, the Olympics are also live right now in Italy. There are no super fat people performing at the Olympics for a reason. It's all instead physically fit human beings, because obviously that's who would perform at something like that. It doesn't mean the Olympics are anti-any which way group, it's just that by definition, the most physically able people to perform those sports at their highest levels would obviously be people not to be featured on like 600-pound Life for a reason. Overwatch is the same way. These people are incredible operators and heroes who have powers and whatnot. Hanzo's like the greatest shot in the world with his bow. His brother Genji's a literal robot ninja capable of incredible feats too. Tracer kinda has time powers. Roadhog is probably the fattest you're gonna get, but he's a tank designed to be displayed as a scheming evil dude that yanks people in, shoots them with his makeshift shotgun, and his super is like garbage and metal being churned through a weird crank-held minigun to hurt people. Generally speaking, the vast majority of Overwatch heroes are idealized, and if they're not, it's because they're a very specific archetype.
And nobody had an issue with Roadhog, honestly, because he had such like a unique design, and his weight. He utilizes, because people compare Roadhog to that Hunter's Gathering character, that fat lady with a peg leg. And it's like they don't, and you have that woman moving around like she's the size of Tracer when she clearly is not. And it's okay, you want to have somebody who's oversized, but the physics still have to be there. Roadhog isn't moving around like a track star. He's lumbering. So that's why he has like the hook motif, so he can get you, pull you close, so he can do some damage, because he is not a runner. They, had the physics in mind. They built the character from the ground up and actually put some thought behind it. So that's why he became such an appealing character overall. They wasn't so hyper focused on body positivity with Roadhog. But over time, like you mentioned, they got these activists. They got worried about these activists and the DEI programs inside. They kind of ruined the entire thing. Slowly but surely. And I gave it a good, because I loved Overwatch. But even I, slowly but surely, started noticing the weirdness. I think it was around when Lifeweaver started rolling out. It's like, you're getting a little, funny now. With these characters that, like overdoing it with the queer baiting. Somehow, some way, for some reason, Soldier 76 is bisexual now. When clearly he was obviously straight. Same thing with Tracer. All of a sudden she was a lesbian at one point. And it's kind of like, they're behind the scenes, they're throwing into this stuff just to appease a hyper specific crowd, and they turn off the wider market. But when they try to appeal to a wider market, they get bullied by that voice actress that was just shown. And Blizzard would have gotten so much props by the wider market by showing that no, we are catering to a wider base. We got to stop catering to this small niche market. It's crippling our bottom line. So if you don't like it, you can tweet all you want. We got lawyers here, so you can play with us if you want to. We got you off a YouTube channel. You're a YouTuber. We gave you a shot because you auditioned for us. We liked what you did. But if you're going to cause us trouble, you can kick rocks. I don't care what these people on Twitter say. Because half of the part either don't play, or even if some of them do, we're not going to lose the overall major revenue because we got vast amount of player base from all walks of life, not just in the LGBT community. The true fans will stick around, and that will prove us right. But no, they got cold feet, and now that they cowards, they can't now start puffing up their chest all of a sudden. Because now they got people like that by the have the Blizzard by the balls now. It's never going to be enough.
Type of evil, like Roadhog again. But for Onron, apparently the activism is just not enough, I guess. The problem here is that players and the literal voice actor of Onron believes that Blizzard ruined her design and that it needs to be fixed. If you want a comparison, look at this photo here. The left side is what people kind of want Onron to look like, and the right is how Onron looks currently in the game. Personally, I don't think that either design really speaks to me fully, and that a nice middle ground would be fine. That being said, complaining that Onron is too Ozempic-esque is just kind of insane to me. The girl wields fire powers, which I guess is sort of magic, and why do all the Overwatch heroes from Asia specifically have magic powers that aren't explained, you may ask? I have no idea, but it is that way for some reason. But anyways, Faria, the voice actor, decided to now double down and bend the knee to those who are demanding that Onron get changed because, again, she's too skinny and attractive apparently. So instead of me explaining it, Faria decided to post a video response explaining her thoughts. So here, please watch this.
Hi friends, I'm Faria and I voice Onron in Overwatch. I'm gonna be so honest. I'm nervous about this video because
Canadian.
I didn't want to not address the elephant in the room, but I didn't want to step on the devs' toes or speak on their behalf really because it's this tightrope in my mind of trying to honor the community and everyone's criticisms because I agree, and also give grace to the developers because they're always trying their best in the situation they're in. Right? So I wanted to make sure that was there before I celebrated anything myself. So
this girl who wants to complain.
I got to mourn Onron between the design I had hoped for her and the design we ended up with.
Start complaining about
because I think in her comic and the cinematic Elemental Kin, there was a precedent set by it. There was a unspoken promise that said, we're going to challenge the beauty standards plaguing and ransacking media these days, right? The Ozempic chic, the contour your nose, you have no nose, the tiniest nose. And I think because of that precedence, people feel understandably let down. Overwatch is a trailblazer at challenging that, right? Of trying to break those molds, of trying to explore the bounds of what it means to be good, what it looks like to be heroic.
honestly,
and I think the result we got says something else.
They should have, like,
it says something that leaves a bad taste in
people
our
like
mouths.
Snarky
It's
J,
not the
who's
bold,
also
optimistic
like
swing that we
but
know
doesn't
Overwatch
have
to
any
make,
type
and
of like
it's a look that isn't congruent with her personality.
activism,
right? She looks like the younger sibling. She looks more docile somehow as the fire hero. She looks more docile than the most docile peacekeeping support in the game. And I've been seeing everyone's redesigns and quietly bookmarking them, but I wanted you to hear that this concern is important. This is a hill worth dying on. It's worth speaking on, because I believe that the more we speak up about the things that truly matter to us, the more we'll see ourselves reflected in the world around us. The more we'll see our values in the world around us, right? And I want you to know that I shared all of this.
Look, imagine, like, if I got hired to voice act in the next Spider-Verse animated film as, I don't know, the Shocker. I don't then start going on social media talking about, like, oh, Shocker doesn't isn't like body positive or something like that, and started like talking crap about Sony. I have no place, because I did not design the Shocker, or at least their version of what the Shocker would be. I'll be greatly appreciative, and just, I don't even care if they go with, I kind of personally prefer the Caucasian version of the Shocker, and I'll just voice the character because I am acting, and I will do the job that was asked of me for this particular role. I'm not going to sit there and rock the boat or put a fuss over some personal hang up. That'll be weird.
With the dev team. Not only that, I was encouraged to be as open and honest as possible, to not hold anything back. And it's my hope that this isn't for naught, right? That they see it, they hear it from you all too. And while it's it's not my position to decide what can be done and what gets done about this, I will keep championing for the version of her that we all wish for, right? And I want you to do the same, with boldness, with kindness, and with hopium. Because Overwatch is not an exploration of what the world is. It's an exploration on what the world could be, right? So much love if you made it all the way here to the end. I hope you have so much fun playing On Run. I know I am, but I'll see you out there.
The fact that she got to mourn Onron, which is kind of crazy to say, especially considering that you got paid by Blizzard to voice this character, then claiming that Onron's design is plaguing and ransacking, her words not mine by the way, the beauty standards of games today, tells me that this Faria lady is not happy that the, I guess, diverse body types of games like Concord and more have been resoundingly rejected by players worldwide. The thing is that if those designs were actually good enough to both be profitable and be loved, which they are by the way, based on the performance of games that pushed ugly, gross characters in the first place, then they would still be happening. But the opposite is instead true, right? I mean, for example, let's go look at Domina. She's a brown woman with curves, easily my favorite design of the new bunch because I have a weakness for curvy women, I admit 100%, but that being said, while I can't show it for obvious reasons on YouTube, the Rule 34 art of Domina has already reached nuclear levels of quantity on the internet for a good reason. It's because Domina's design is right for people to idealize, to desire, and most importantly, want to spend their free time on this planet making that sort of art that, again, I cannot show, but let's just say it's spicy. While some may say that Rule 34 art is awful, oh my god, they're fetishizing these characters, how could they? It's actually the sign of a healthy interest if your characters are being remixed in that sort of way. For example, when Concord originally launched, there was basically zero Rule 34 art of that game to speak of anywhere, which some may say that's good, but no, it isn't. It means that nobody was willing to even take these characters' designs from Concord and then just turn them into risque art to begin with, because the designs left nothing to idealize or...
You notice how, like, there's plenty of, sexy art, whether drawn or AI, of the Huntrix from K-pop Demon Hunters. Why? Because they're appealing to not just men but women too, because women like looking at pretty girls too. And it's just these DEI programs or these activists do not like the idea of the male gaze. They do everything in their power to try to corrupt, warp, or eradicate anything that males like. It is almost like a sick thing to do, honestly, because they hate men that much. Unless those are beta males who want to be male feminists and everything. Of course, they don't count them because they want to prop up women to an obsessed degree, which most men don't respect those kind of guys, and hell, even most women don't respect those kind of guys because they don't stand on nothing. They'll just do whatever the girl says, let her lead in any capacity without any, accountability on the girl's part, because they just want to be beta bitches or sneaky fuckers because they like, hey, it's a mating strategy. Like, I'll just agree with whatever she wants and maybe she'll throw me some pity vagina. That's the mindset. That's realistically, that's the mindset. Because, guys need to start being a little bit more vocal and grow a spine and let them, let people know, look, this is not what's going to happen. We're moving in this direction. You don't like it, there's the door. But, they need a culling in these programs, especially video games. DEI programs, whatever title they want to go by because they try to be sneaky, let's not call it DEI. Let's call it something else. Let's progressive outlets or something. Like, no, they need to be completely eradicated. They're a detriment to not just video games, but movies and TV shows. Hell, even commercials. They need to be completely eradicated. They are a detriment to creativity.
Seek, if that makes any sense to you. And if no one is willing to react to your art like Concord, you end up getting erased and made into attacks right off for a reason. Domina and characters like Onron are going to be cosplayed by female streamers and cosplayers, absolutely 100%. You can just bet that, you can bet money on that it's going to happen. But that is also a surefire sign that those characters are resonating for a reason, which is why it's so bizarre to see the voice actor of Onron no less look at her design and go, she's too skinny, she's too fit, she's too attractive, as if that is somehow a bad thing. You want to know how you keep working as Onron's voice?
I bet you when, the actors went to the producers and the bosses at Blizzard about Onron, I'm pretty sure when she complained about, she's too fit, it's like Ozempic. She looked too Ozempic like. She's too attractive and gotta be more realistic. I'm pretty sure they all looked at each other like, is this bitch crazy? But they bent over and let this girl have her freaking way when she has no say so in how the character is going to be depicted. You just there to provide the voice. That is all. You did not have any shape or form, any part of the character design. You did not come up with the idea. You wasn't at the very least a part of Blizzard from the jump. You don't get a say. That's what they should have told. They probably did, but then once she went blasting them on social media, they gave her what she wanted. Now they thinking they can, people like that thinking they can just call the shots when they, have no say so in the overall grand scheme of the company. That is, God, they should have set a precedent by firing that chick. That would light a fire to the rest of these people that think like this actress to shut the hell up. Do your job. What is asked of you. Your political thought process has no sway here.
Actor in the future.
Golly.
By people loving the character, by people wanting to engage with her design, her lore, and her gameplay as well. That is the sign of a character that people want more of and not less. It's like Emma Frost in Rivals, right? She came out, joined the game, and since then Emma Frost has become a fan favorite in Marvel Rivals for a reason. Why do you think that Emma Frost has so many outfits in Rivals already? Is it because she's a full-bodied, curvaceous blonde woman with Grace assets? I mean, absolutely 100%, and there's no point in denying that. There's actually plenty of Rule 34 art of Domina and Emma Frost doing, well, things I can't show on YouTube to each other, but you can use your imagination, I'm sure. Either way, the point is that Emma Frost, Domina, Onron, you really name it, the more idealized the design becomes, the more likely those characters will speak to people on more levels. And the more that you ruin them because you want activism to be more important than, say, the actual well-being of your game in the first place, which Faria is doing here by essentially bending the knee to people on the internet that want that to be the case, it's not a good idea. But also, we gotta look at it from a gameplay perspective too. A damaged character's actual body proportions can't be too crazy anyways, because it has to play into competitive play, obviously. If Anran was changed into an amorphous blob of a character, like let's say she had the body shape of Roadhog, but as a damage character, right? It would then make Anran completely not viable for playing as a damage character unless she had a huge spike in HP or defense somehow to like counterbalance the fact that she's huge. This is why the Ozempification, if you will, of Anran as the voice actor in more says, just it holds no water. She can't be a walking fridge. She's a damage character. She needs to be competitively in line with other damage heroes, otherwise nobody would play her. And again, whether you want to admit it or not, her design is what it is because it will sell new outfits when those inevitably come out too. Like, that's just the truth. There's a reason why D.Va and like Tracer and Mercy have so many skins in these games already. They're all attractive female characters. Like, gee, I wonder if there's a connection there at all. But the fact that Faria here says that Overwatch's designs are meant to be trailblazers and that the design of Anran means something else, it's kind of ridiculous, honestly.
I don't know why she's feeling need to try to, I don't know, she's on some, people like that, it's like, they trying to do these overhauls in these games or movies or whatever, like they're trying to save the world or something, like by giving us slobs of of characters in these products, like, you know, just so certain people can feel seen. These things are meant to be escapism. No one wants to like constantly see out of shape people in their games or comics or movies. They don't. Okay? Every once in a while, like Roadhog, yeah, certainly. But they actually have to put some thought behind it, not just there for the sake of it. It's just like, you know, like the hill you want to die on. For what? You're not Martin Luther King for fat people. You're a cosplayer from YouTube that got hired to voice a character in a video game. You're there to do a job. You're not like, you know, changing the minds for the world. People buy this stuff to like just enjoy for entertainment purposes. That's what the problem is. They're trying to mix activism into escapism, and it, you know, more often than not does not work. It's soul crushing. She did not need to be a part of this, and more people, producers or people running game companies need to hire, when they hiring people or looking into interviews, they need to look at people's little backgrounds a lot more. And if anybody is like super into like the activism, they don't need to be a part of it, because they cannot help themselves with bringing that crap into the workspace. And that's what it is, a workspace. It's not a place. Sure, it's a video game company, so some level of fun, but it's still a job. You're still there to do a job.
Very existence of how Overwatch has been viewed when they push nothing but look at this character's identity or gender over actual meaningful mechanics is how the Overwatch 2 era, if you will, of the franchise was seen as the dark point for a reason. Like, the truth is simple, right? None of that stuff matters. Honestly, it doesn't. All people want are cool characters they can look up to and aspire to be. There's a reason why every dude in the gym knows of or watches Dragon Ball Z. Because every guy and woman who loves Dragon Ball and they've looked at those characters' physiques and the people in that franchise and gone, holy crap, that Goku dude is absolutely jacked, and so is Gohan, Vegeta, Piccolo, it goes on and on. Literally everyone in there is idealized besides, you know, Yajirobe. But, I mean, that's Yajirobe. It's okay. We still love Yajirobe either way. But the point is that idealization sells and connects for a reason. That's why with One Piece, Naruto, or even Attack on Titan, all the characters are to some way or another that are popularized. You know, they're all idealized versions of human beings. They're what people want to aspire to be. Fit, ripped, attractive, all of it. You can complain all you want, but you know it to be true. It is what it is. It's why the most attractive female and male models always have people flooding their comments with heart emojis, and the average person usually gets none of that. It doesn't help when you had a user on Faria's post say, help us with the agenda, and then she replied, I will, even if it's meant to be tongue-in-cheek. It still comes off as, oh, well, that's not good, is it? Another commenter on Farah's post said this as well. We do not care. We want hot characters. If you don't like it, then get out of the industry. And I think that's a perfectly valid response. She's catering to a small microcosm of the community and bending over backwards for them because she doesn't want to be alienated by so-called people that she calls allies, who would unanimously throw her under the bus and light her on fire if she doesn't agree with their every opinion. It just kind of comes off as weird to me. Why appease people who are no better than the people who want to see you fail in the first place? Another user would also reply to Farah, and this is what they said. You're a voice actor. Voice the character with the lines you're provided and shut up otherwise. Nobody's asking for or cares about your social commentary or political hot takes. Keep it to yourself. I think this is how every voice actor should be, honestly. You're not the moral center of what people want to believe or not. You are simply a voice actor, a piece in a larger system in order to bring something to life. It's why I always say the less political nonsense we have on any side, mind you, by the way, not just one side, it should just be removed from the equation entirely. I don't want to hear what you think about about society or any of the presidents or really anything else, honestly. You voice a video game character in a video game in a make-believe world. You are not the moral arbiter of what people should be accepting of in life. Like, it just is what it is. Didn't we have a whole thing in 2024 where localizers and such were getting wrung out because they believed that they were just as much the creator of something as the people who drew the animes and mangas or made the games in the first place? Look, I think a lot of people need to realize, whether it sounds mean or not, that they are in fact replaceable. I mean, we already have AI voice actors. And the last thing we need is someone saying that the character they signed a contract to voice in a video game is bad because it doesn't adhere to their personal political belief system. Which then makes you ask, well then, why take the job then if apparently what was done was not what you wanted in the first place? Money, obviously, but clout too. It's a platform to project from, right? And Blizzard needs to remember this, like really remember this. This is exactly the sort of thing that drove their franchise during the Overwatch 2 era into the ground already. And we're having the same sort of nonsense repeat itself days before your massive relaunch. It's kind of moronic, it is what it is. As this user responded as well, due to Fario's response, they are now not going to re-download or play Overwatch, and that is my point. The last thing you need is for more people to leave the game, and the best thing that you can do and should do is just say that you're thankful for the part and hope that people enjoy the character. Whether this voice actor here agrees or not, she's not the person in charge of Anran's design or anything else. She's just the voice, and voice actors have been replaced for far less, by the way. Also, maybe it's just me, but her entire response, it has this, how do I put it, like theater kid-like performance to it. Am I wrong?
It's a look that isn't congruent with her personality, right? She looks like the younger sibling. She looks more docile somehow as the fire hero. She looks more docile than the most docile peacekeeping support in the game.
Like, it sounds like she's trying to act with her response, like, oh, I'm so taken away by what's happening, but it just, like, oh, this is so bad, this is so morally awful, like, look at me, oh, woe is me. It just, it's like a weird side note, it just feels very weird to me. I don't know why she's doing that. And it's also kind of weird, it seems like she's like cosplaying Vi from League of Legends here, or is she just unironically wearing red eye contact lenses and whatnot in everyday life? Yeah, sometimes I feel like I'm too old to connect to people like this, and I'm not even that old, by the way, but as IGN reported here on the exact same thing, this is apparently, according to this voice actor, a hill worth dying on, which I just disagree with. I think a hill worth dying on is we need less political activism in general in video games, full stop. A hill worth dying on is we need less live service games, less microtransactions, and more single-player games that are priced competitively. This is not a hill to die on. This is like a small bump, like in the road, and then claiming like this little ridge as a hill when it really isn't. I mean, comparing Anran from her debut in the Wu Yang short to her design in the game, yeah, it's different, absolutely. Personally, I still think a nice, middle ground of both would be better than fully going back to what she looked like originally. Because the original look is not ideal. It's not terrible, mind you. It's not terrible. But again, that's not really what Overwatch players are looking for in the first place. It kind of reminds me of that Emeru controversy recently. I can't play you the clip, by the way, because there's licensed music in it. But here's the post that went viral about Emeru here. Long story short, Emeru got asked, what are her thoughts on ICE, in America with deportations and all of that. And she said, if you need a streamer to tell you what to think, you need to get off the internet pretty much. And a lot of people got really mad at her for this because, of course, some took that as Emeru claiming support for ICE, but that really wasn't it. What she was doing is saying that she isn't for political talk at all, and that's her right. She wants no part in it. She doesn't want to discuss it. She wants to focus on what is entertaining, escapism, which is what video games are about too, right? They're escapism, or they should be anyways. But regardless, a lot of people had opinions on Emeru not denouncing ICE. Like, they said because she decided not to have an opinion that she was secretly, oh, she's pro-ICE now. Other political streamers like that Denims chick, who's being sued by Ethan Klein, by the way, currently anyways, believe that Emeru was being a coward by not denouncing ICE. But the point still stands. You don't need to express your political opinions all of the time. It is, in my opinion, becoming far too normalized, actually, to see people, especially streamers or content creators, be shouting this sort of stuff so openly all of the time. If you don't agree with me, you're the devil. It's like, except not really, right? And you can think whatever you want, honestly. Like, who you voted for, what you believe internally, that is up to you and really nobody else. The internet in general has become far too volatile solely because of how normalized people have become when it comes to how they view the world or express their opinions on political issues. I don't care what Emeru thinks about ICE. I don't care what Faria thinks about characters being too hot or whatnot. The point of all of this is that none of this is in service to what these things are meant to be, which is escapism. I don't want to be reminded of the real world every 2 seconds when I play a video game. I don't want to have ideologies forced down upon me. I just want to play video games and have fun. And until we as people keep pushing back against this sort of nonsense, until it really stops, it will just keep coming back. My advice, if you're a voice actor, or anything like that pretty much, stop talking. Like, ironic, I know, given the profession, but like, no, seriously. Stop talking. You're not changing the world. You're not a moral arbiter of what's right or wrong in this world. You're voicing an Asian chick who has phoenix powers. It's really not that deep. You're not Rosa Parks. You're not King Leonidas. You're a voice actor, probably living in LA, surrounded by other people who live in delusion just like you do. It's just as Ricky Gervais said at the Golden Globes. You are in no position to tell people what to think whatsoever. Just accept your reward and screw off. And it's crazy how relevant that speech keeps ringing true, even to this day. Like, just stop it and let Blizzard enjoy their launch peacefully without needing more nonsense to deal with. But what do you think? Let me know in the comments.
God. Ricky Gervais has been spot on every time, and these fools keep proving him right. You're there to do a job. Like, I'm an actor as well. I don't bring my personal politics to the job. Nobody does, at least so far as I've experienced. And I'll bring that crap to the workplace, because it is a workplace. You're there to do a job. This is not a hill you need to die on. You took no part in the character's creation. Now, even if she did, she wasn't the sole person creating it. It was like obviously some level of collab. But if she had been a part of it, then yeah, maybe she can start voicing like her concerns, like she really wanted to look one way, but she got kind of overruled or something. Then maybe there's a conversation there. But she wasn't. She, like he says, is a small cog in a wider machine that she is fortunate enough to be a part of. Like, you can personally believe what you want to, whatever you want to believe. You can have a your own view on certain politics, but when you enter a career space or you clock it in, that is left at the door. That's I think we all should keep that in mind. And you're not saving the world by making a thin character fat for a few niche people who probably are not playing the game anyway. Anyway, leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of Indy's take, and I will see you guys later on. Whereas I'll be popping in to play a little bit of I think I'll play a little bit of Marvel Rivals for tonight before I end the stream. But anyway, take care, and I'll see you all soon. Peace.